Right, in this video I'm going to be showing you how to install the Optimus Prime kit, including the pin removal. I've got 2 pins on here. You need to pull them out. They do come out alternative ways, which is awesome. You get this block, we put the figure on the block. Just need to move the arms kind of out of the way. Yes, everything's loose, I've already started, but I'll show you how to do it. Basically, you lay them on the block and you tap with the hammer and it just knocks the pin out. Things you'll need, kind of a screwdriver-y thing to tap the pin, or I use this one here, it's pretty better because it's got a narrow shaft. And maybe a nail or something if you can't get hold of a small screwdriver. Now you do have to make sure you tap these at the right end though, because there's a gritty end, so you can grab it and kind of twist and pull the pin out. So you have to make sure they go back in the same way as well. As you can see, I've made a bit of a hash at the back of Prime. Just trial and error, people. Trial and error. Right, once the pin is out, put it to one side and this top section does just come off. Our next task is to get this upper torso piece off by unscrewing the waist. Right, you want to undo the 2 screws at the back here. Just excuse the lighting. I'm indoors at the moment. I can't get in my studio until later on. Right, once those are out of the way, put those to one side, and this section should kind of just pull apart. He says you need to wiggle and pry. Wiggle and pry, people. Wiggle and pry. Come on, 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 come on. Take that and party. Right, that's a leg out. That's a start. As you can see, I don't customize kits for a living, do I? Right, this comes out like so. Now you want to make sure that you keep all these little bits to one side, and those bits here are especially important. We're going to put those inside the new section of the legs. Right, this is the new replacement waist section. As you can see, it's got that big hole in the back. That's where we're going to put those ratchet pieces in. There's the springs, and then there's the sections that go on top. We just want to pry those out. And basically how these come out, we want to put them back in the other piece exactly the same. So they look exactly like this. Now you just want to pop those back on again and just get your screws back in and screw them both on. Right, now that we've got these screws in here, you need to be so careful with these Hasbro screws. I keep rounding them off. They're not good at all. I've had to use this one here and that one there to hold the crotch in. They just keep... they're really cheap screws. Right, we can go to the chest piece. It may be in the box like this, or it may have this section already back like so. You need to have it back like this, and this is going to come over the front of your crotch section like so, and then you're going to come around to the back. You're going to grab your red section, which was already the rear. That's just going to go here, and there's these tabs, and they are going to line up, and we're going to push these together. It may be a tight fit to begin with, but that does go in nicely. As you can see, this is where we put the grey section back in, and we're going to start to push that pin back through as well. You just want to push it back in the way you got it out by putting this on this slab, placing it down, and then we can just tap that down. Now unfortunately this is the only thing that's kind of time consuming, just putting all these pins back in. But anyway, that bit there is in. Let's just see what I've done with the legs here. As you can see, I've got all this added extension section. What you need to do, you need to grab your trusty screwdriver. I switched to this one this time around. You need to undo both of these screws. You don't really need to do too much with these joints. It's basically just prying them open so we can put the additional section in. Now be careful, because this thigh section is ratcheted with a spring, as I found out when I took the first one off, and it went pang and went everywhere. So gently does it, Ben, gently does it. Whoa, look at that, as if by magic. We can just hold this one in place, wiggle this one out, place the new section in, and bring this section back over like so, and then tighten those back up. We're going to need to undo that section I just put on there shortly, but I like to do all of these sections one at a time, step by step. That way I know where all of my screws are coming from. Now, unscrew this one. You don't even have to unscrew it all the way. It's basically just being held together, and it's on this hinge, so you can just lift that section up, just to allow the leg section to come back in, slide in, and close back off around it. Can I just say the grey is a spot on match. That looks fantastically done. Right, as you can see here, this section goes there, this section comes round and tabs in on the front of the leg. Now we're going to come round to the actual leg itself, and you've got 3 screws. You've got one here, and one up here by the knee. I just need you to undo all 3. You don't have to take them out, but we're going to change the feet over next. So 1, 2, pry the legs apart, and as you can see, the foot is just on this tab section. You want to wiggle that off and bring in the new feet. Now the new feet, that's an extremely tight fit. I found the easiest way is just to apply a little bit of pressure and just work that back on, and then want to just come back to the leg and do all 3 screws back up. Grab your blue tab piece and make sure it opens up this way. So you go down and the hinge is over to this side. There's a hole in the back of Prime's leg. That's going to slot into that hole, and these sections are going to come up over the wheel arches like this. To come round, remove the tab section from the side of the leg, place this section over, and basically what you're going to do, you're going to push this section up and into that gap. We're just going to line that up with that and give it a little push, and that now locks that section into place. We're going to slide this section back into Prime and give that a wiggle, and then we just need to tap the pin back through. The next step is to take the Hasbro head off. It's glued together. It's physically glued together. I had to get a knife in there and pry it apart. It's gone for good. Let's flip this section in that way there, like so. Bring up the new combiner head. Now I struggled to get this off the ball joint, so I undid the head. I think that's just the safest route to get that off there. And even still, it's a very tight fit. Now we can bring in our new head. That's going to slide in that way. He says, stop moving. Rock it around. There we go. We have one head, and this section slides up, forwards, like so, and instantly that looks 1,000 times better, doesn't it? Now bring in your chest segments. You want to make sure that the windows are down to the front here. This clip section is also here, and these 2 sections are facing upwards. And what we're going to do, this section is going to go over here and over here. It's going to push all the way down, and then these 3 sections here, here, and here are going to tab into those 3 on the chest. Now the secret to getting this on is to slide these sections under first, and then we bring this up and on, like so. Come on you go, and this one up and on, and then we just got to work those down. Such a tight angle. It's probably the most tricky part of it. That's a blatant lie. The pin removal was a nightmare. Come on, down you go. Alright, there we go. That's down, that's under, and now these just tab in like so, and like so. bring in this red section with this mess hanging off the back. That's going to go over there, that's going to go over like so. These smokestacks are getting smaller and smaller. Next we bring in this shoulder tab section. Basically there's this little tab section here and this groove here. If you look at the shoulder, this is actually going to slide over like this. It's going to slide in and you've got to line it up, and as you slide this further and further until it goes over the lip, then we can push this section down and then that will tab in behind this section. We can then pull this down and that forms the shoulder pad. Last little touches, the backpack section here just pegs into this grey bit underneath, and I believe these red tabs go there on the blue. I had no instructions with this at all, so it's kind of guesswork. But yeah, and there he is. Doesn't he look different? Oh, I like this kid. Now, don't get me wrong, this was a lot of hard work, and I went through a lot of cups of tea getting this thing on and figuring out how on earth it went. But man, oh man, that looks stunning. The head is a bit tight on that ball, but it does go on nonetheless. Now, you may be thinking, well, if you're using that neck, Ben, what are you going to use for your combiner mode head? Now this, my lovelies, is probably one of the only things I don't like about the set, is that you have to bring the combiner mode head in separately. There may be a place to store it. The instructions may tell you there's a plug and a hole. You plug that into the said hole, and then you bring the face over, and boom! That is Star Convoy. That is a very close resemblance to Star Convoy. Look, we can bring these out, and that looks freaking awesome. Right, plugged in head aside, let's pinpoint all of the faults to begin with. My Combiner Wars limbs are still a little bit floppy, and now they've got the added weight on them, it's not going to stay upright. Going outwards is absolutely fine, but mine going forward and back was a little bit loose to begin with. That's just unfortunate, I guess. That's just Combiner Wars, but they're using the Combiner War joints for this, so maybe that's something they need to think about. Maybe they need to put in something there that's going to tighten those joints up. But I can live with it because look at it, look at it. I love these shoulders. I love the actual colour matching as well. I have done a sterling job. It feels very well made. It's very much the same as the sort of thing you'd expect to get from the likes of Perfect Effects, somebody like that. It's a good kit. Look at the gun. Look at that big gun. Oh, that's glorious, isn't it? Absolutely glorious. The backpack is exactly that. He does have a backpack. I think he did have a backpack in IDW. I can't really close this section off any more than that. We don't really gain any articulation with this because we're using the Combiner Wars joints. We still get the same up and down motion, the inwards and outwards. The waist it can rotate quite nicely. You don't get any ab crunch, although I really do love this section. I think that looks fantastic, all that new ab section. I've already mentioned the legs. They do come forwards, they do go out. That's horrible. I hate those. You do bend at the knee. We do get better feet, although the forward and backwards motion is now next to none, but we do get some nice pivoting, so we can get some nice attacking stances. And Prime does come with a plethora of weapons. These are just tabbed in either side. Just untab and slide the weapons in, so we can have a massive sword, a massive axe. Obviously the larger ones I believe are probably more aimed for the combiner mode, but hey, who doesn't want Prime to have a huge blue translucent axe? And I mean, they go in to the hand nicely with minimal force, and there we go. Look at that for the result. Now, having these two squaring off against each other, now bear in mind I have got the X2 Toys upgrade shoulders and the DX9 upgrade feet on Megatron just to make him a little bit taller than Prime. That is a much, much better scale. With figures like this, I kind of regret slating the Combiner Wars line. I was like, oh, don't get that, oh, don't buy Combiner Wars. Yeah, with a little add-on like this is fantastic. And here's Shattered Glass MP10, just for a scale comparison. Oh, you know what, I really like this. I know I've said it a few times now, but it's fun and it looks so good. Right, let's work on getting this kit transformed. I'm going by guesswork. I didn't get any instructions, hence it's a bit all over the place, this video, but from my understanding, we lift these sections up, and these are on sliders. You want to slide these across. This section here needs to come off, just for the time being. This is parts forming, isn't it? But that's so we can get access to this back section, because we need to slide his head down and all the way back into that back section, like so. And this needs to hide back there. We can move the antennae back, and he can just slide down there nicely. That's all tucked in, out of the way. We can now close this section off, close this section off. You want to keep that there for now. With these two sections pushed all the way across, you want to bring this back section back, untab the crotch section, fold those sections down, and then you want to move the crotch section all the way up to the back. Untab the thigh sections. I want to just fold out for now. As you will notice now, we do actually have an additional bend. Now we're going to use this bend when we transform him. Now these back sections on the truck are going to form the sides of the legs. So you want to unfold that, flip that over, and then you want to slide that along this piece here. Untab this shin piece, and then you want to bring this out and rotate that around, and then that is going to come up and over to the back of the leg, and you want to fold this section up. That's going to form the back of the truck. Come down to the feet, and as you can see, they are on these extension pieces. Lift up the extension piece, make the foot level, and then slide the extension piece in. Now with these legs bent down at this angle, using this additional joint, so this section here is flat, and this here folds in and tabs underneath onto there, and then this section here, the blue section, now tabs into the side like this. This cab has collapsed backwards like this, so it's in a line there, but of course we have got this additional section in there which is now being hidden by these back panels. This bit is a nightmare. Trying to figure it out. Basically what you've got to do, you've got to get this tab here into here. There's this tab that's got to go into here, and under all that you've got to get the fists under this section here. So these come down out of the way, that's no problem whatsoever. You just transform the cab as if you would normally and bring that round, and the fist slots in underneath. Now the bit which is super tight now is if you have to tab everything in. I mean, if you're happy to leave a gap like that, it's a piece of piddle, it's absolutely easy, but we're not. And yes, I have taken this section off just so you can see what we're doing on the inside here. Basically you have to get everything to line up. Now I am probably doing this completely wrong, and if I am, you can all say, Ben, you're doing this completely wrong, or you can comment when this gets released, and as instructions you can say, Ben, you were well off, and I say, yes I was, but I didn't have any instructions at all, so please forgive me and keep watching me. Don't leave my channel. Right, come on, down you go, down you go, down you go, down you go. See, this is my problem. That bit there. And then this bit here. And it's just a matter of tabbing these front sections together and getting everything to stay in place. Now if you look on top here, these bits are the shoulder sections, they just come down, and these sections here basically just cover up this top section. They again are on sliders, so you just slide them accordingly over, and then just tab them together on top. Now you want to grab your backpack section, flip and reverse this section over. So that's now like that. This section is going to just hover down the back. Possibly not going to be able to tab that in, I don't think. Basically what we do, we bring this section up and over. That slides down. This is going to go over and over. And then the back section just tucks down behind these. And I think, I think that's it. Now, time for a tea break. Now, bearing in mind I may not have got that perfectly accurate. It's a job to get in, but once you're in there, everything rolls as it should, and it's nice. It's very, very IDW indeed. I love the spoiler section on top. I don't think I've got that 100%. But hey, you guys are still here. That means you've given me the benefit of the doubt, and we're soldiering through. Yeah, it does definitely add to the bulk of them. I like this back section here. That's very kind of Masterpiece Prime. I love how that's spun round, and everything kind of finds a place. These things pegging under here, this pegs in here. Very, very minimal robot on show underneath. Considering it's a kit which is obviously designed to be used in robot mode, I think the fact that they've made it work with the vehicle mode, with minimal parts forming. I mean, that's just the spoiler coming off, just to give us clearance to get the head in. With minimal parts forming, I think they've done a very, very good job indeed. Now to getting back to combined form, again, you want to take the spoiler section off to give us that extra clearance. These are just rotated round, and you've got that slider underneath. You can slide them one way or the other, but for now I just like to keep them up and out of the way. Come around to the backpack section, that's got to come up as well. Untab this section here, untab the underside, and then we want to split this front section, move these tabs away from the fist, and that allows us to bring our fists out, and we're going to get these set for combined mode. Come around to the legs. You want to move this section down, and as you bring it down, rotate it around like so, which brings it back to the front again. Lift this section up. You want to bring the heels all the way back. That now gives us full access to the combining form peg. You then want to come round to the thigh section. You now rotate the section back down and around to the side of the leg. Right, come round to the front back. Lift the ab section back up. You want to bring the chest section back down and over. Now that's not going to tab in because of how we've got this position at the moment, so just don't worry about that being tabbed in. That's going to be at the back anyway, so who cares? This section here, let's rotate this section here around. This is going to come back up on itself, and that's going to tab into that section there. Let's tab that in, bring the fist down, and then this section here can just be brought down to cover off the shoulder tab section. And then come round here and we can open up this chest section here. We can slide the head back up to the top and pop it up and rotate it around like so. We can then bring in that super duper head. Let's tab that in and bring that down, and bring those up, That's the super head in place. Right, this spoiler section isn't actually going to hook back over on the shoulders this time. You're going to tab that into itself and extend this section up and up. This section here is going to fold downwards, and these two holes here are going to locate on Prime's chest. But you need to just push that down, and then we can just bring this chest section down like so, and that now fills in that void at the front, and the red sections just tab in on the crotch. You want to make sure that the screws are all facing backwards. If they're not, just make sure that this section is rotated to the side. It may still be at The back, remember all three of these sections now rotate. You have a hinge top and bottom of this new section, so that needs to be up at the side. You then want to rotate this leg at the knee, and these sections are now going to be at the back. And that, my lovelies, is the new combiner torso. Now, obviously I can't really do that much with it because I don't have any combinable figures anymore. But I'll be honest with you, I actually want to go out and get some. I love how this looks. That's a fantastic head. I've got the ear wings that I showed you earlier on. I've got those folded inwards. But I love it. I think it's fantastic. It's, again, minimal parts forming involved. My instructions are probably a little bit off. It's more guesswork than anything else. But doesn't that look 1,000 times better? What a difference a kit can make. Here's a look from the back in case you guys have got confused as to what you're building. As you can see, the feet are pointing downwards and towards us. We've got these butt flap sections here, and you've got the chest and the fists facing outwards. I really can't sing the praises of this kit enough. If there's any flaw in it at all, it's the fact that I haven't probably transformed it properly. Even in torso mode, he's still a very tall bot. And I honestly think to get the best out of this kit, you need to be looking at getting yourself maybe the perfect effects, fists and feet. I think they're going to make the world a difference, because then we can have some nice ankle pivots in there as well. And of course, we can then add in the additional weaponry. We can bring in that huge sword as well. We can put the hilt on there, bring that in, and just look at that. We can have all of that involved as well. So there we have it, guys. I hope you have enjoyed the video. I know it's been a long one. I know there was a lot involved with that transformation to and from, but I hope it's been of some use. If it's put you off the kit, then I've done my job just as well as if I've enticed you to it. Let me know what you all think in the comments section below. And until next time, from myself and Optimus, thanks for watching. Goodbye.